Hello there. Welcome. Glad to be here with you. I hope you are having a fantastic week and ready for an amazing weekend. Life is good here in paradise. It's a beautiful sunny Friday morning. Wish I had a little chance to get more sun myself. I've been sitting here at my desk most of the morning. I spent a little bit of time. I'm always outside every day. I usually walk to the bottom of the property and walk back up. Sometimes I run. I sprint up one section of the path, which I actually created for just that purpose. It's fun in flip-flops. It definitely adds to the challenge a bit. I hope you're all doing great. Hello, Flyer. Bob, good to see you. How do you deal with heavy anxiety during fasting? You breathe, you meditate. And fortunately, in fact, there's a specific breathing technique. It's as simple as this: 2 inhalations through the nose like this. Hold, and then exhale. And then again. Hold. Each time you do that, you relax a little bit. Okay? Now, my clients here typically feel much more relaxed within just a few days because of the climate here, because of the environment, because of the energy here, because there's always people around who have fasted multiple times before. I've got a lady here who fasted with me twice before. I've got a lady here who fasted with me 3 times before. Who else? You know, there are people here referred by others who had amazing processes here. And I have all my volunteers here who have, most of them have done 3 fasts with me. Some of them only 1 or 2. So, you know, it's honestly the easiest way to relax, let go of anxiety, is to know what you're doing. And the easiest way to know what you're doing is to have experienced guidance. You know, if you're fasting on your own for more than a few days, you should have anxiety. That's appropriate. That's an appropriate response when you don't really know what you're doing. Okay? You know, sorry to be blunt about it, but unfortunately, that's the reality of it. So hello to all you beautiful people joining me here on Instagram. Lots of people coming through, rolling through. Sweet love, hello there. Good to see you. I hope you are well. Be nice to connect with you. Tammy, nice to see you here. Absolutely. Respiration is fundamental while fasting. Ian, good to see you. Glad you're here. Thank you, Tammy. You're so sweet. Hello there from Argentina, Bananita. Nice to see you. Okay, lots of comments here, questions here on YouTube. Flyer says, how do you know what a 50-kilogram lean men's body can process at a time per meal, roughly in terms of sugar, protein, and fat, and grams and calories? Appreciate any info. Unfortunately, it varies dramatically from person to person. There's no way that I can give you guidelines that are going to be useful to you without knowing much more detail. And in fact, really the only way is to get your body clean enough that you can listen to the body. Okay, that's what needs to happen. And as you may be aware, I have no idea how tall you are. You know, 50 kilograms is not much if you're 6 feet tall, but it's plenty if you're 5 feet tall. So, you know, that alone doesn't actually tell me much. But as you may be aware, I often fast people who are very lean, who can't assimilate very well. Okay, because their body's not working, it's toxic and dehydrated. We get the body truly clean and well functioning, and all of a sudden everything changes, and now the body can assimilate well, and we have people gaining weight. That's what happens over and over again. So the first step is probably to get your body clean and as well functioning as possible, because when you do that, everything functions better. Everything works better in that situation. Okay? Roma Machado, good to see you here. Live mindfully nourished. I'm glad you're here. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. Skytree Girl, hello there. How are you? Nice to meet you. Nice name. Hello, Kimmy. Hello there. And Mr. Latriz says, does fasting help with gum disease? Well, okay. So these questions come every single time I'm live or even on, you know, online anywhere answering questions. Can fasting help with this? Can fasting help with that? Let's be as clear as possible what fasting is. Okay, this is so critically important to understand. Our amazing bodies are self-healing. like every other organism on the planet. Healing and cleansing, detoxification, these are biological processes. So the only thing that can heal your body is your body. That's all there is. Anything else that you're consuming can't heal you. There's no drug that can heal you. There's no herb that can heal you. There's no superfood that can heal you. Smoothies, juices, these things can't heal you because healing is a biological process. So only the organism can actually do it. What fasting does is it allows us to get out of the body's way so that our amazing healing bodies can heal as efficiently and as effectively as possible. And what that means is if you're dealing with a condition that can be healed, then fasting can only help you. Done properly and long enough, it can only help you, okay? But the key is done properly and long enough. Unfortunately, for most people, if you don't have experience, you're not going to be able to do that properly without having guidance. I mean, that's just the bottom line, right? Oh, it's how hard is it to stop eating? Not hard at all to stop eating, but that doesn't mean you're doing what you need to do, okay? There's much more to it than that. And this is why everybody who fasts with me says afterwards, wow, that was way more powerful and beneficial than what I ever did on my own. That's a common experience that I literally hear that probably almost every week. I mean, I've got someone finishing a fast somewhere all the time. I'm working with people online, several groups right now per day. I'm working with people here. I hear that all the time. Okay, even after people leave, they say, yeah, it's way more powerful than what I ever accomplished on my own. There's a reason for that. It's because after doing this for 25 years with thousands of people, I actually understand the process pretty well, way more than you probably do if it's your first, second, third, 10th time. Okay, I hope that makes some sense to you. It should. I hope it does. I think it should make sense. So if you're dead, if you're here right now and you're dead, fasting isn't going to help you. That's not a curable condition. Gum disease is curable. Okay, heart disease is curable. Hypertension is curable. Type 2 diabetes is curable. Arthritis is curable. Gum disease, yeah, your body can heal that, okay? If the body can heal, fasting when it's done properly and long enough can only help you, But it has to be done properly and it has to be done long enough. It takes time to heal. And if you're not doing it correctly, you could actually be harming yourself rather than helping yourself. Okay? All right, Jasmina Toman says, hi, Loren. Have you had cases of complete curation of arthritis? We have had people with arthritis completely cured. We have seen, there's a video on my YouTube channel. You're on YouTube. So go look, do a search for Stuart. Stuart fasted with me in April. It will be 6 years ago. I have 2 women here now who fasted with Stuart 6 years ago. And he had suffered from terrible arthritis for 24 years, from 18 to 42. Okay, serious pain every day, painkillers, pain medications every single day for the pain. And he fasted with me for 26 days. He has been pain-free ever since, no need for medication. Okay, that's what happens in most cases. My mother fasted with me for only 11 days, not long enough, 16 days, not long enough. 16 years ago. She was 70 at the time. She'd had severe crippling arthritis, gnarled joints and joint pain for 35 years. And with 16 days, half of the disfigurement disappeared and she was in no pain for the first time in 35 years. That's what's possible. Okay, fasting is amazing because it allows us to give our incredible self-healing, self-cleansing bodies the optimal conditions to cleanse and heal. And so incredible things happen when we do that. All right, I've got a super chat. I'm going to jump down here and take the super chat, and then we'll jump back up. Hello there, Paula. It's Paula. Paula, good to see you here. Paula says, I have 2 friends with cerebral palsy. What experiences have you had with seeing symptoms healed with this? Both men state they were born with it. Yeah, cerebral palsy is a condition that people are born with. It usually shows up in very early childhood and can be very difficult. I mean, it's a progressive condition where people become increasingly more crippled over time. I don't remember ever working with anybody with cerebral palsy. Now, it's entirely possible that given that someone was born with this condition, that there are going to be aspects of it that are not going to be curable. That's entirely possible. But having said that, if you have a joint crippling disease, okay, something that affects your joints and muscles and how your body functions, and eventually winds you in a wheelchair, aren't you going to be healthier by getting your body as clean, as hydrated, as healthy as possible? Aren't you going to be better off that way? Of course, of course. So even in a situation like this, and I don't know because I haven't worked with anyone like this, I'm not sure if it would be possible to heal from this condition completely or not. Right? Again, we just talked about what's curable and what's not curable. Is this curable? I don't know. But no matter what you're dealing with, if your body feels and functions as well as possible, you're only going to be better off. It's only going to help you. Okay? It can't not be helpful to you to feel and function as well as possible, regardless of what the situation is. So if it were me, I mean, what is there to lose? The cost of the fast. And I understand. I mean, for some people, let's say if someone worked with me online for 6 weeks, which is what I'd recommend for someone with a condition like this, it's a 42-day process that would cost $3,000 working with me online. Okay. Now I realize there are people here from Chile and from Argentina, from places where with the economy right now and the exchange rate, that's a lot of money. That's difficult for people to do. We do have people from these countries all the time, but I realize that for the average person from many places, that's difficult. And I apologize. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I work in an economy based on where I live and my reality, and this is the value of my time. So to work with me, that's what it costs. Now, here's the thing. We have a payment plan. When you work with me remotely, you can pay about 55% up front and the balance over about a year. Okay, and it means it's pretty accessible for most people. Will it work for everyone? No, of course there are people who won't be able to afford it. I mean, there are people who can't afford to eat today. Okay, they're not going to be able to afford to fast with me unless someone can help them do that. And I work really, really hard and get paid for my time. That's the way it works. But most people, my experience is that almost everyone, if they get creative. I mean, today we live in a global economy. The fact that there are people here right now listening to me, watching me from all over the world means I can reach people all over the world, and so can you. So if you can find a way to serve people, then you can earn income, and you can earn income in dollars, even if you're in India or someplace, in Pakistan. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what the economy is there. It's a global economy. And you can charge in dollars for something if you have something of value. Okay, I stay super busy with consultations every day. I have one consultation every night, and some nights two, and I'm busy all morning. And then in the daytime, I'm working with my people here. It's a pretty busy life right now. But I mean, I'm doing what turns me on. What can I say? I feel great because I'm able to help people this way. Okay. So I hope that helps, Paula. Feel free to have your friends reach out to me, or if you'd like, we could schedule maybe a group call and talk to them about what's going on, and how fasting could help them. Of course, if they're open, no matter how much you think it would help somebody, if someone's not open to it, then there's probably no point. I mean, we can't force someone to want something. Oftentimes, the people who most need whatever it is aren't really interested, because they don't want to change. They don't want to do anything. Maybe they'd rather make excuses than progress, or maybe they don't believe they can shift, or maybe, they're just stuck where they are for whatever reason. Okay, we have another super chat here. Ian 444444 has made a £5 contribution. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. Ian says, thanks for always being here on a Friday and your insights. By the way, like the shirt, Patagonia. This is not a Patagonia shirt. I wear a lot of Patagonia. Some of you may know, I don't get paid to promote companies, but Patagonia about 30 years ago, I think, maybe a little more, committed to using organic cotton in their clothing. And so they have, it's a big company. They produce a lot of stuff. I buy mostly used, or sometimes new online from people who bought it and can't use it. I mean, the prices are crazy in the shops. I don't pay $75 for a button-down shirt like this, a short sleeve shirt, or a long sleeve shirt for that reason, that account. But I go to eBay is actually where I get most of my stuff. And I bought this shirt on eBay. It was secondhand. It is Tommy Bahama. Most of their shirts are silk. This one is linen. I won't buy silk. I don't buy animal products. But this one is linen. It is beautiful and comfortable. It's secondhand. It's not organic, but it's secondhand, so I don't feel so bad about that. I have a few things that are not organic because they're secondhand. Oops. I'm so sorry. You can probably hear me better now. I realized I had my mic plugged in and my earbuds sitting over here. You can see I'm a bit absent-minded sometimes. If it's new, it's going to be organic almost exclusively. Every once in a while, there's an exception for some reason, but very few exceptions. Secondhand is a different story. It's in that case, I won't buy animal products still. I don't want to support that in any way, but I will buy materials that aren't organic if they're secondhand. So thanks very much for your support and for the compliment. I hope everyone's well here. I'm going to scroll over here to Zahidis, good to see you. Etheric Mystic, nice to see you here. Chef Crepe says, what to do if eating only fruit causes constipation? More water. Well, it could be that you're not getting enough water. And most people need 3 to 4 liters a day. Sip slowly over the course of the day, no more than 500 milliliters an hour when eating as well as when fasting. But if you're just changing to a fruit and salad diet, there will often be some constipation at first because your body's not used to so much fiber. In that case, yes, sipping more water is always helpful. Focus on high water content fruits and simple salads, and just know that it's going to pass with time, okay? And of course, if there's a serious problem, fasting is the single most efficient and effective way to fix that, okay? Rolio, good to see you. Aditya, good to see you here. Under colonics usually advised? Colonics are usually advised never. I would never advise a colonic. Colonics flush out beneficial bacteria, weaken the colon, alter the pH. They're a bad idea, and they should never be used. I would never, ever use a colonic. Okay, sorry if you're in the colonic business. I think they're a terrible idea. Okay, water is being forcibly pumped in and out of your colon. Not a good idea. Okay, that's not what we were intended to do. We don't need that. If you've got a problem, you should fast with me for at least 21 days, and you will clean out your colon. It's amazing what happens, okay? And the majority of stuff that's stuck in your body is not in the colon, it's in the small intestine. Colonic can't help you. There's a valve that prevents the water from going past that point, the ileocecal valve, into the small intestine. So it's only flushing out the large, intestine, the colon. When will you come to Brazil? That's a really good question. Right now, travel is, it's more difficult. It's not so pleasant. Getting on airplanes hasn't been much fun since for the last 20 years, since 9/11, 2001, when everything got a lot more difficult. Before that, it was pretty easy to get on a plane. Now it takes twice as long, and the whole thing's a hassle. And now with masks, etc. And honestly, I've never wanted to get the yellow fever vaccine, which I would need to do to come back into Costa Rica. So having said that, I would love to come to Brazil. And I hope you can still hear me on Instagram. I said that word I'm not supposed to say. But maybe someday. I'll tell you what, one of the things that I would require would be an organizer. And again, I'm not sure if live events are even happening right now, not so much. But someday, hopefully, we'll go back to a reasonable way of living where we have some freedom. And I would love to come. And if you want to organize, let's stay in touch. We can make that happen. Carolite Rodriguez, good to see you here. Pavank. Okay, sorry about that. Bananita says, where are you? Your fasting clinic. I don't know if you have a clinic. Yeah, absolutely. I have the largest fasting center in the world for 25 years. In March, we'll celebrate our 25th year here. Not here at this location, but 25 years in existence. The Tanglewood Wellness Center turns 25 years old in March. We have helped many thousands of people, and we're located in Costa Rica. It is spectacular. And for anyone who's not aware of it, if you're new here, new with me perhaps, we are creating an amazing community here called Las Cascadas, a nature preserve, botanical gardens, enormous permaculture-based fruit farm, and 2 intentional communities, and much more. Oh, adventure sports, mountain biking, rock climbing, high adventure park, canopy tours, zip lines, lots of cool things going on. You can be part of that. Live with like-minded people in paradise. It's an amazing thing. And what you might want to do is come on down to our fruit festival, talking about traveling, February 19th to 26th, 2022, in just a few months. We have our annual fruit festival. It's incredible. Well, last year we had more than 50 varieties of fruit, all 100% organic. The place here is beautiful. There's lectures and yoga classes every day. There's amazing meals. There's a bonfire a couple times a week. We have live music. We go to the highest waterfalls in Central America, which is part of our project, just down the road, one day, and have lunch there and swim in the falls, etc. We go to one of the most beautiful beaches in Costa Rica, which is saying a lot. One day and spend the day there and have lunch on the beach. And if you're sensitive to the sun, we put up shade cloth. We're under the palm trees, and we put up shade cloth so you can spend the entire day in the shade if you want to, but have the Pacific surf pounding on the sand right there close by under the palm trees with amazing fruit and like-minded people. It's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. So come join us there. Okay, let me go back to the other side. We have another super chat here. Sherry likes fruit. Hello there, Sherry. Thank you so much. Sherry's made a $5 contribution. I appreciate that very much. I don't see a question or comment, so I'm guessing that's just a love offering. I appreciate that very much. Paula says, odds ratio, there's a fabulous update on Las Cascadas Facebook page just posted. Yes, thank you. For anyone who's wondering what's happening, rather than detail everything here, in response to a prompt that I needed yesterday, someone said, what's going on? We haven't heard anything about this for a while. It's just because I'm so busy, partially working on my project. There's lots of things going on, running the center, the Academy for Vibrant Living, et cetera, the remote fasting program, and Las Cascadas. Big deal. There's a huge update on the Las Cascadas Facebook page. So if you go there, I posted it. When was that? I guess that was late yesterday evening. I posted that in response to being prompted. Hey, what's happening with this? We haven't heard anything. There's a lot going on. More purchases about to happen. We're tying up land. We're working with prospective investors. We've put out 15 grant applications, which is a ton of work, and are currently responding to questions, etc. And we're looking for people like you who want to live in paradise with like-minded people and who are willing to put their money where their mouth is. Because a lot of people say, that sounds amazing. When it's ready, let me know. You know what? It's much more likely to be ready sooner if people are willing to put their money up. I've got, let's see, so far we've invested about 1.2 million plus into the project. Half of that came out of my pocket. And my pockets are now empty. Okay, the other half was by people who bought lots or have invested in the project. But half of it right here, and I've got nothing. I mean, that's all I have. We are raising money now to buy more land. We're supposed to sign 3 more contracts. I said in the thing this weekend, I was mistaken. My assistant told me that it's next weekend that the lawyer's coming. I thought it was this weekend. So it'll be next weekend we sign those documents, but coming soon. So lots of cool stuff going on there. Okay. All right, let's see. Mud Paws, good to see you. How do you get rid of mucus? You fast to get your body clean. You stop making choices that create mucus. Your body creates mucus on purpose because it's there to help you. Well, there's mucus in lots of places for different reasons. And, as we've heard about over the last couple of years, when they stick that thing up your nose, it's going into your blood-brain barrier. That's a mucus membrane that protects the brain. Your stomach is protected by a mucus membrane that protects the stomach so we don't digest it with hydrochloric acid, the stomach acid. But the mucus that's created, like in the sinus cavity, is there to protect you from things which are toxic to you. So your body can eliminate them without them harming you. Okay, so you don't really want to stop the mucus from being produced. You want to change the behavior. Fasting allows the body to clean out the garbage so we don't need that mucus anymore. Okay, but people who are eating dairy products and wheat, for instance, their body's going to keep producing mucus because they're eating things which are toxic to them, and the body's trying to protect itself. That's an intelligent response to that situation. Live mindfully. Hello there. Nice to see you here. You think MVP mitral valve prolapse is reversible? I suspect that each case is different, but that yes, it can be. I think it can be, right? I mean, we see amazing things. Yael is here in the house. Good to see you, Yael. Looking forward to seeing you here very soon. Just a couple, 3 weeks, I think, you're going to be joining us. Glad to see you coming. Healing with Elizabeth. Hello there, Elizabeth. Glad to see you here. Matthias is here. Nice to see you, Matthias. You're right here. Matthias is actually here. Tanglewood was always on for these lives, but is actually here for the first time with me doing a live. Is here at Tanglewood fasting right now. I hope it's okay that I say that. Elizabeth says, do you think transition is necessary when going to raw food diet? Absolutely not. Transition is perfectly fine for people who choose to transition, but some of you know this. By the way, I see I've got another super chat here. I'll come to in just a moment, Michael. Thank you so much. There's a guy I'd never heard of before until about maybe 5 years ago when someone pointed out that he was attacking me, I think on Facebook somewhere, if I remember correctly, on some Facebook group. And he was attacking me. And this is a guy who in Spain who says that you have to transition very, very slowly so you don't hurt yourself to an optimal diet. He's personally been transitioning for 25 years and still eats cooked food and cheese, potatoes and bread. And he claims to be an expert on health. And I'm like, you're an expert on, on being mediocre. I mean, it doesn't take anyone, and under any circumstances, it doesn't take you 20 years to transition. Okay. It might take someone, months, maybe a year to transition, but only if they choose to do it that way. It's like smoking cigarettes. Right? Some people choose to wean off of them or go to electronic cigarettes or use a gum or a patch or some other way, to slowly get the nicotine down until they can stop. Other people, many people simply stop smoking. What's the best way? Well, I mean, it's whatever works for you. Ideally, whatever works for you is best for you. Personally, my preferred way is to say, well, when I realize, oh, smoking's hurting me, why would I keep doing that? Why would I keep putting this crap in my body at all? So I've got thousands of clients around the world. My clients have come so far from 145 countries who simply stop eating cooked food right now because it makes sense to them. And that's it. Done. Okay, that's what I did. And it worked perfectly well for me. And it's worked perfectly well for many other people. So there's definitely no need for someone to transition. It's okay to transition. If that's the preferred way of operating, you can do that, but it just takes longer. I mean, every time you eat cooked food, you're recreating the same exact addiction that you had before, and it makes it harder and harder to stop. Maku Jimenez is asking me a question that I can't answer. I can't answer here because if I answer it, guess what happens? They shut me down. Okay, so I'm surprised. I would think everyone would probably know by now that we can't answer it. We can't, there's some things we can't talk about here. Let me say that some people think it's a really good idea. Let me use an analogy perhaps to have their, put an additive into their engine to protect the engine from something that's not a real threat, even though the additive actually has a very good chance of destroying the engine. Okay, the additive is likely to destroy the engine. The thing you're protecting it against, it's not really such a big problem for most people. I would never put that additive in my engine. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. All right, Jonas, hello there. Good to see you. Where was I? Candela, nice to see you here. Jonathan, good to see you. I'm glad to see you here. When are you coming back? Do I know Mila from There Is No Spoon? I don't know if I do. It's possible. I've met a lot of people all over the world in the 20 plus years. Virginia, good to see you here. In the 20 plus years that I traveled to speak. Not doing so much of that these days, but I've met people all over the place and it's hard to remember sometimes. Dean, good to see you here. Won't be putting you live with me today. If you want to organize something and you have followers, I'm happy to do that. But I'm here to answer questions and won't be bringing you on here today with me. Sorry about that. All right. Rocky Hudson, good to see you. Sir Brinar, Carlito, good to see you here. Nicolette. Okay. Well, they keep coming. It's a little hard. Fresh food, water, sunlight. Glad to see you here. Nicolette says, hi, Loren. How have you been? Looking healthy as always. Thank you for your light. You are very, very welcome. Thank you so much for your kind compliments. I feel great. I mean, it's some of you know this, but I'm going on like 35 years since a day sick, and I have tons of energy every day. I feel amazing. I mean, I live in paradise, and you can too. We have a choice. Someone said to me this morning, yeah, but if I come visit, then it's hard when I come back. I have to go through all this stuff and quarantine. It's like, well, what does that tell you? Why would you want to live in a place where you have to do that? I mean, where you're being controlled, who needs that, right? Folks, let's create the lives we want, living in a place that actually supports life. Whatever happens here, like they lock everything down, they close the borders. Who cares? We're on 37 acres of paradise with pure water and tons of fruit and lots of sunshine, and we don't need anything. Okay, if we could stay here forever and just lock the gate and we'll be fine. If that's what it comes to. I mean, that's the way I want to live. I want to live where I know I'm okay, no matter what's going on. All right, Michael Paulusland is in the house with a $5 contribution. Message retracted. Okay, well, I can't answer the question if you don't ask it. But, there's one up here. Hi, Loren. Is this when the body has simply finished all the healing in any healing? Any difference between the sensations of true hunger when you're depleted of fat reserves and true hunger it has to do? All right. So the question's a little convoluted. I'm not sure if I completely understand your question, but true hunger is a pleasant tickling sensation in the throat. Has nothing to do with the belly. It's not a belly sensation. It's a sensation we feel in the back of the throat. It feels very much like thirst because we're intended to get our water, most of our water, from our food. Okay, so thirst and hunger feel very similar. Of course, there's nothing wrong with drinking perfect water when you can get perfect water. And you don't want to eat optimally without drinking water. The people that I know that have tried to do that have not fared very well. We've been measuring hydration levels here for 15 plus years. And the people we see who come here who eat perfectly but don't drink water are usually very, very dehydrated, even with a perfect diet. That's because the old stuff that's stuck in the intestine is sitting there like a giant sponge absorbing water. You'll never get hydrated that way. It's not even possible. Okay, it's not possible. All right, so I hope that's that helps, Michael. I'm not sure if there was something else. That's all I've seen here. And if you asked another question somewhere, I'm not seeing it. All right, let me scroll back down here. Let me see. There's a message that jumped out. Hello, Kimmy says, here in the U.S., they're really trying to bully and force that everyone must do this thing. What are your thoughts on this? Well, as I said a moment ago, and perhaps you understood what I was saying, if they start offering an additive for your engine to help you prevent something that's not really a serious issue, but the additive is more harmful than the potential issue, why would I ever put that additive? Why would I would never, ever put that additive in, no matter what, under any circumstances. Can Huntington's disease be healed? I don't know. I don't think I've ever worked with anyone with Huntington's, not that I can remember, but it's very similar to many other conditions that we have seen improve dramatically. Now, again, this may be a situation like I described earlier with muscular dystrophy where it's entirely possible it won't heal completely. I'm not saying that it won't, I don't know, but it's possible it won't heal completely. However, how much better off would somebody be if their body worked as well as possible, if they felt as well as possible, if they were fully hydrated and everything worked as well as it should? Aren't they going to be much better off? I think it's clear that they would be. I think that's clear. Okay, I'm going to come back over here. I think there's another super chat I need to attend to, but I see a message here from Sweet Love who says, during a water fast, what's the order that the body gets rid of toxins? How many toxins are released in urine during fat versus excretions after refeeding? During fasting. Okay, during fasting, how many toxins are released in the urine? versus excretions after fasting. Okay, well, again, it's difficult to quantify some of these things, Sweet Love, because like how many toxins are released in urine during the fast? I don't. There's no way to answer that because it varies from person to person. If your body's clean when you fast, there'll be very few toxins released during the urine. If your body is very toxic, the answer is there'll be a lot of toxins released during the urine because we eliminate toxins from the body primarily through the urinary tract. That's our number one way of eliminating toxins from the body is through the urine. Okay, your kidneys, right? Toxins, wherever they are, they're being dumped into the bloodstream. Let's say that the lymphatic system is picking them up and carrying them away from the cells, right, through the lymphatic channels. And then they go into the thoracic duct, which is a major vein leading back to the heart. They're sent to the heart. Why? Because they're pumped directly from the heart to the kidneys. The kidneys, you have two kidneys, one right in the back on either side and back here. And your kidneys are constantly processing your blood, filtering your blood 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They never stop. Okay, if they stop, you need to be connected to a machine. That's what happens because this is so critical. These are vital organs. And the kidney's job is to filter all the garbage as well as things that the body wants but has an excessive quantity, like excess water in the bloodstream. You have to get rid of that, or you dilute your electrolytes and die. So the body's getting rid of all the excess stuff as well as all the toxins through the urine. What's excreted through the colon are only those things that are solid waste and things that are not water soluble, can't be handled through the urinary tract. So fat soluble garbage and the solid waste left over from food, and that's now stuck in the digestive tract, that stuff's eliminated through the colon. But everything else, the vast majority of what we eliminate, the toxins we get rid of, are being released from the body through the urinary tract. Okay, I hope that helps. I'm going to scroll back. I'm going to come back over here, jump back over here to YouTube because I have actually two more super chats that I haven't gotten to yet. The first one here is Love Yourself First. I love that name. And it's funny because I'm sure some people look at that and say, well, no, love animals first, or love your children first, or love your husband or your parents. But the truth is that we can't really love anyone. We can't love anyone or anything unless we have, real love is unconditional. There's no conditions. And we have to love ourselves first. We have to figure out how to be the unconditional love that once we're that love goes everywhere to everything, to everyone. Then we love everyone, but we have to still love ourselves first. You're absolutely right. I love the name. Love Yourself First has made a $4.99 contribution. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's US dollars. And says, if we come for the fruit festival, can we stay and fast afterwards? How long can we fast for? Yeah, absolutely. This is actually why we scheduled the fruit festival this year just before the fasting session. So in the past, we've had it just after a fasting session. And the problem is we had a lot, it was great. We had a lot of clients who wanted to stay for the fruit festival after fasting. But after fasting, your system is much more sensitive. And some of the sweet fruits that we have, they're probably not ready for yet. And some, we do a little bit of gourmet dishes too, only a little bit. And it's my gourmet, which isn't, it's not toxic gourmet. It's actually pretty healthy gourmet. But still, it's pretty concentrated for someone who's just coming off of their refeeding process. So I thought much better to have the fruit festival first, and then you can enjoy the heavier fruits, the jackfruits, etc. We had two amazing jackfruits last night. We celebrated lovely Gazelle, who produces my YouTube videos and has fasted with me 3 times, has lived on site here for more than 3 years and produces all my YouTube stuff. She had a birthday yesterday, and we celebrated her birthday with a couple of jackfruits, delicious jackfruits. You can enjoy the jackfruits, you can enjoy the more gourmet stuff, and then you can fast afterwards. And you can fast as long as is appropriate for your body. You have to complete the registration for fasting. I'll take a look at that and see if that's okay or not. Most people can fast up to 6 weeks. For most people, there's almost everyone has between a 6 and 8 week reserve, in fact. So for most people, you can probably fast as long as you'd want to. We book by the week. So it's either you spend 1, 2, 3. Most of our guests are here for 4, 5, or 6 weeks. Some more than that. Some 8, 9. We have 4 people here right now that are fasting for 42 days. That's a 9-week process. And we sometimes have people here for 10 weeks, and we have others for 8, 7, whatever. So the price goes up on the Fruit Festival each month. So you're going to want to register for that as soon as you can. Okay. And I've got some super chats I need to scroll down to. I hope that answers your question. Feel free to reach out to me if you're not clear. Feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be glad to clarify in any way that I can. Okay. So thank you so much for reaching out and for the contribution. I appreciate that very much. All right, where was I? Here we go. Michael from Austria has made a €528 contribution. Michael, thank you so much. Michael's very generous. He has been with me here for years and has fasted with me various times and has seen amazing things happen, and often contributes without asking for anything. He's not asking a question. He's not asking me to do anything. He's just making a generous contribution. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. I really do. Okay, let me see here. I'm going to scroll back down. I'm going to come back up and answer the rest of the questions if I have time to. I'm going to do that. But in the meantime, any luck removing large calcification deposits? Yes, that often happens. Corrine, hello there. Good to see you. You have a question. You're welcome to ask your question. I'm going to do my best to get to those questions. We have 15 minutes left before I have a call with clients. So I've got 2 or 3 more super chats I need to get to, and then I'm going to come back and answer some of the other questions here. Okay. The way you ensure you get your question answered by making a contribution, I'm sorry, but I mean, I work hard, and we're trying to raise money. So this is one of the ways we help do that. And people, when you make a contribution, I immediately answer your question. Your question gets answered. There's always more questions than I can answer. So if you want to be sure yours gets answered, you probably want to do that. Nicole is here in the house and has made a $10 contribution and says, I've done fasts of 2 to 3 days and feel great. I always break because of the emotional need for food. I clearly feel I'm not hungry. How do you lead guests through emotional hunger and habit? That's a really big question. It's a question that's going to be hard to answer here. Honestly, Nicole, probably the best thing that you could do would be to fast with guidance. And I mean, when you fast with guidance, first of all, you've got other people around. Even if you're working with them remotely, you've got group calls. And that means there's other people there that are going through the same process that can support each other, okay? You get information from, you get an email and a video from me every single day that supports you, motivates you, keeps you inspired, etc. And then there's plenty of time for us to talk on the calls, for me to answer your questions and coach you on how to get through this stuff. But it's about becoming more conscious. It's about understanding that, your emotions aren't bad. You can survive them. You want to feel them, because if you're not willing to feel them, they're going to be lodged in your body forever, where they're going to create physical toxicity. So the best thing you can do would be to feel those emotions completely, be willing to feel them, and then you can release them and they dissipate. Okay, so that's the most powerful thing you can do. But if you don't want to come here or fast with me remotely, let me suggest that we schedule a consultation call. Okay, you pay me for an hour of my time. It's $200, and I will help you in a way that I can't do here in a couple minutes in a situation like this. All right, I hope that makes sense to you. Light Code Warrior is here and says, hi, Loren, no question. Bummed I'm now delayed coming down, but thank you for all your content weekly. You are very, very welcome. I apologize, I don't recognize you. I'm not sure who Light Code Warrior is. Thank you for the contribution. Feel free to tell me. And you're delayed because you can't get on a plane? What's going on? I guess is that what's happening? I know there are people that are having situations like that where they're not able to get on a plane without being vaccinated or something like that. It's a terrible situation. I hope that's not your situation. Okay, Odds Ratio has made a £10 contribution and says, thank you for your continued work to support optimal health. Stuart from Scotland. Stuart, is that you? Is that what you're saying? PS arthritis still far better, but please caution people sticking to optimal choices post-fast is also key. That is, Stuart, Awesome, Stuart. You can see, someone asked me a question. I'm not sure if you were here earlier. Someone asked me a question about arthritis. I mentioned you. Again, if you weren't here earlier, Stuart, who's here now with a 10-pound contribution. Thank you so much. It was 6 years ago in April when he came here after 24 years of medicated arthritis pain. And he says, still far better, but please caution people, they must stick to optimal choices, right? I mean, I've always said the same thing. If you go back to what you were doing before to less than optimal choices, you're going to suffer. Now, the thing is, for whatever reason, life isn't fair. We know that life isn't fair. Some people can eat garbage all the time and not have arthritis at 24. Stuart, or 18. Stuart couldn't do that. At 18, eating conventionally, he had arthritis. I think what I'm reading between the lines here now, Stuart, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you found that if you make less than optimal choices, and maybe you've tried that over the last 5.5 years, the pain comes back. Okay, that's what happens, right? So it's not fair, right? Some people can make poor choices. Now, I mean, that's one way to look at it, is it's not fair. On the other hand, Stuart, you have a very powerful reminder every time you make a poor choice that that's not helping you. If there was no arthritis pain, you might keep making poor choices until it created heart disease or cancer. The fact that your body quickly says to you, hey, not a good idea, don't do that. Okay, and you're in pain, you go, oh yeah, right, I can't do that. You might actually be the beneficiary of this situation, because you're being reminded every single time in real time, that doesn't work. Don't do that. Okay, not everyone has that. Some people don't find out that they've been making poor choices until it's too late. They're dead or dying from very serious conditions. You created an amazing level of health, and it sounds like you're still super healthy, but you found out if you make less than optimal choices, doesn't work so well. Okay, that's the thing. I mean, again, I know it sounds crazy, it sounds radical to most people. Wait a second, we can only eat fruit and salad? But that's crazy. Why are we so restrictive? Folks, we're not being restrictive, okay? Let me suggest you only breathe air, okay? Don't breathe nitrous oxide. Don't breathe car exhaust, okay? Don't breathe natural gas. Breathe air, okay? But you're restricting us. No, I'm not restricting you. I'm telling you what works for your body, okay? Okay, our bodies are made to consume fruit and soft, tender leafy greens, non-strong tasting leafy greens. That's what our bodies are made for. You can eat whatever you want, but if you eat anything else, it's going to impact you. If you eat cooked food, it's going to impact you. If you eat animal products, it's going to impact you. It's eventually going to kill you, okay? Again, it's not fair. Well, it's how it is. That's the fact. Our bodies are made for specific things, like every other species. Every species has a natural diet. Our natural diet includes fruit and soft, tender leaves. If you want to feel and function amazingly well, those are the things to eat. If you eat anything else, you cannot get the same results. It's not possible. Okay, you can't get the same results doing anything else. It's not a question of what you want, don't want. It's just how it is. That's what happens. Okay. All right, I'm going to come over here. Durian Magic, hello there. Glad to see you here. I don't know who you are, but I love your name because I love durian too. So it'd be fun to connect with you. Feel free to reach out and shoot me a private message. Maybe we can connect there. I'd love to hear your experiences. Marcella, Abi, good to see you. Abi Dominguez, H. Umblebee, Yushu. What's your opinion of well water versus spring water? Well, well water can be fine. It can be fine, but sometimes it's not. It's different than spring water because spring water is running and well water is sitting. And so sometimes there are things in well water is less likely to be as clean. It can be perfectly fine, but it's not always. It's not always. You have to know. Okay, you have to be clear about what it is you're drinking. So if you've got a well and you want to get it tested, maybe it's perfectly fine. I think it's hard to do better than really clean, perfect spring water. That's about the best we can do. All right. Elizabeth says, what do you think about the master fast system? Well, I tend to be blunt. I'm always honest. Let me say, I don't remember the guy's name. I'm sure he intended to create something beneficial. You know, the idea that the best we can do is pasteurize grape juice is absurd. It's processed garbage, which I would never consume. That's pretty blunt, isn't it? I don't think much of it. You know, I'll take anyone who's master fasted 1,000,000 times and put them on a 21-day fast with me and guarantee them in writing that they're dramatically healthier at the end of a 4-week process. I'll guarantee that in writing to anyone, okay? And anyone who thinks, no, any of those people out there, the John Roses of the world, juice fasting is much superior. Yeah, come spend 4 weeks with me, okay? If you're honest, you will eat those words, okay? I guarantee you. I had someone here beating me up on my Instagram page trying to convince me that there's a time for herbs. Look, many of you here probably use herbs and think they're fine. That's okay. You're welcome to, okay? Herbs suppress symptoms. Remember, the body is self-healing. Only the body can heal the body. Why do I do water fasting? Why am I always talking about fasting? Why am I pushing fasting? Why do I run a fasting center? Because the body heals itself. It's the only thing that allows us to get out of the body's way and allow it to heal without in some way making the body more toxic. Herbs are toxic. And this person's trying to convince me, no, but sometimes. I'm like, why? And I used to use herbs. I haven't needed any herbs in all these years I've been fasting, 30 years I've been fasting. In a few weeks, 30 years raw vegan, eating a fruit-based diet. I don't need herbs at all for anything. Okay, there's no reason for them. So, you know, but you're stepping on people's toes. You know, I'm telling the truth. I'm speaking my truth. Again, I'm sure the guy that, you know, I'm sure he meant well. But do we need to drink pasteurized juices? No, never. No one should ever drink pasteurized juices. Absolutely never. And fruit juices in general are a bad idea. Okay, grape juice has roughly 3 times the glycemic load. That's the impact. That's the insulin impact on your body of grapes. Eat the fruit. Don't drink the friggin' juice. Okay, juices are inferior products because they're overly concentrated, largely oxidized, okay, fragmented. They're vital nutrients in the fiber we're throwing away, imbalanced, unnatural substances. We're never going to do better than nature, okay? It's impossible to do better than nature. It's, you know, this idea that juices are better is crazy. And the idea that we should drink pasteurized juice, it's literally insane. I don't know, you know, maybe he's getting paid by Welch or somebody. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm kidding about that. I have no idea. I don't even know the guy. But it's, no, there's no way that, no, absolutely not. I would never recommend drinking pasteurized juices and would never recommend, therefore, a master fast. All right? All right. That's Renee Hansen. Renee, you're supposed to, right, I know you're supposed to come tested positive. Now, do you need to get on a test to get on a plane? Because I flew out of the U.S. I don't know if I think you're in the U.S. I flew out of the U.S. 2 weeks ago. No one asked me to get tested. I didn't need to show a test. I mean, you know, there's nothing to worry about. The test, I can't really talk about this, can I? Most people are going to test positive because that's what the test is set up to do. But, you know, it's up to you. I mean, I'm not, if you want to write to me about this, we can chat more. Someone asked me last night, but does she need a test? Because we didn't need tests to get here, not to come to Costa Rica. So, you know, maybe it's not a problem. Let us know as soon as possible. All right, let me see here. I'm down to just a few minutes. I know there's lots more questions. Will Master says, greeting, Loren, eating pancakes right now, but I'm going on fruit in a few days to prepare for a fast at Tanglewood. Okay, it would be a good idea to stop eating pancakes. I mean, you know, eating things made from flour, made from wheat, made from grains. They're completely dry. You mix them with water. There's no cellular water. They get stuck in your system. This is what creates the mucoid plaque. It's things like pancakes and bread and pasta. This is harmful. So, yeah, I mean, definitely get your body clean. Now, if you're planning on coming, Will, I don't remember seeing you. I don't know if you're registered for this session. If you're not registered, any of you, anyone here, if you're not registered for this session, which we're open now, we opened tomorrow will be our first. You know, we'll complete our first week. We've got 9 weeks to go in a 10-week session. We opened last Saturday. We close on the 8th of January. We still have, I think, 1 space for a man and 1 space for a woman. We have 1 right now if Renee can't make it because we had a space booked for her. Okay, so if you want to come, you're going to want to book ASAP if you're not already booked. If you want to book for February, because we're almost completely full for now, guess what everyone's currently doing? They're booking for February. Okay, and a lot of people are going to want to come to the festival and stay to fast. So if you want to do that, again, you're going to want to book as quickly as you can. Okay, we're about out of time. I'm going to say here, folks, if you're enjoying this, if you think this is valuable, if you think I'm crazy and it's fun to watch me go crazy, whatever it is, give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Instagram, YouTube, respectively, the other way around. Feel free to share this on your channel, on your page. Let's get this information out to people. Okay, people need to know. Okay, we can feel and function amazingly well, but most people aren't doing that. Okay, and it's not hard. I mean, well, it's easy. I mean, let's try that again. It's simple. Okay, it's not necessarily easy for some people, but it's always simple. It's not complicated. What to do is really, really simple. And all you need is someone to show you the path, maybe take you by the hand and lead you there. Okay, most of the people that come here, if they're coachable and open, they leave here feeling amazingly well. And if they do the emotional work, then they can continue making excellent choices and creating amazing things. So, folks, I've got to go. You're very welcome. Thank you, Stuart. I'm so glad to see you. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. I'd love to see you again. Dude, come join us and run research here. Okay? Let's talk if you're open or interested. Will says, I want to book for now, but the funds aren't there, and I have a friend who can loan it to me. I may ask him. I really want to fast. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing here, Will, but you're going to want to make it happen as soon as you can. Talk to your friend. Okay, maybe if you've never thought about this, you know how credit cards have like a 60-day cycle. If you time it right, see if you've got a friend that can pay for it on their card. You make the payments on the card. If you can pay it off in 2 months. Or if not, you make the payments, okay? There's always ways to make it happen. All right, got to go, folks. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day, are ready for a beautiful weekend. I'll look forward to seeing you at the same time next week again. Please give it a thumbs up and a like, and feel free to share, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.